businesses are going to produce the property tax revenues that businesses have produced. And some of the bars, the big ones, Fieldhouse and Union, they're huge buildings in excellent locations, and they bring in thousands and thousands of dollars in property tax to the city and the county. What kind of businesses can do the same?
Well, I think you're assuming they're going to go out of business, which is an assumption.
Okay.
And for every bar that pays property taxes, there's a non-bar commercial entity that pays property taxes. Whether it's an office setting, like my law firm, I co-own one of the buildings downtown, and we pay very heavy property taxes. Retail stores pay property taxes. Plenty of other establishments pay property taxes.
Thank you.
One of the numbers that I looked up when this became a topic of conversation is how many of our students are under 21. And in the fall, we'll have something like 11,750 students under 21. I believe that this community has lots of entrepreneurs ready to tap into that market.
Is that if you have about 11,000, close to 12,000 students under 21, then you have about 2/3 of your student population above 21. So, and this law affects only those under 21. So what about addressing binge drinking for those who are not subject to the law?
So let me make 2 points. It is important for us to have programmatic efforts that address people in their junior, senior years, and we're moving in that direction. We have front-loaded our efforts with freshmen for quite some time, and that makes sense. That's the highest risk group. We are moving forward, for instance, with health risk assessment and intervention for somewhat older students. And that's very important. It's also the case, though, that if you wanted to choose a group where your intervention would make the biggest difference, young drinkers would be that group. They drink more and they have more negative consequences than people who are older. So it's a good place to have an impact.
I had a quick question about, I don't know what the students here consider to be bar night. When I went to Wartburg, I think it was like Wednesday night or something like that. How do you go about balancing out some of these student activities that you're planning to place in the community? How do you spread those out? I mean, so that you land them sort of evenly throughout the week to cover your bases. I mean, because I know that there are some nights that are more popular than others to go out and hit the bars or whatever.
Right. I think that again, our students know which nights to program. I think you'll see a lot of Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night programming. Those are the nights when students are most looking for something to do at night.
Other questions?
The Playboy top 10 ranking of charter schools ranks Iowa, I think, about 8 or 9 on there. And it references the fight song at football games about, in heaven there is no beer, that's why we drink it here. And in the state of Iowa, it's against the law to have an open container out in public on school property, on city property. However, tailgating brings 70,000, 80,000 people from out of Iowa City to come and bench drink here in town. Is the council and the school prepared to go on record saying that they're going to enforce the state laws against having open containers for everybody and not just downtown? Or what's your guys' view on that?
Let me say 2 things. First of all, you probably know that President Mason was quoted in the Daily Iowan this morning saying that we will soon be able to announce new efforts for football Saturdays, things that we think will reduce the problem on football Saturdays. But I also want to say that just because it's challenging to address one problem doesn't mean we shouldn't address another problem. So we have lots of problems around alcohol, and we should work on all of them. We may be more successful in some areas than others. That's probably to be expected. But the fact that we are challenged in doing something about tailgating, there's no reason not to do the things that we can do.
So the school and the city then will enforce the public intoxication or container laws then for all violators.
As I said, we're going to have an announcement on that later.
From the city's perspective, I don't defend what goes on at Kinnick Stadium. And it is an inconsistency. And that's a fact. I can say that there are currently underway some attempts to expand the ring of activity on football Saturdays farther beyond Kinnick than they presently are, and the city is clamping down on that. And some of that is at staff level thus far, but we may see more of that in the months to come.
Any additional questions? Okay, well, thank you all for coming, and you can learn more at our website, 21makesense.org. Thank you.